All right, everybody, away we go. Welcome to today's call. It is Friday, our favorite day of the week here at the TRC, January the 26th of 2018. Can you believe that? 1 month is down almost already, and I'm super excited to do this Miami this week with a couple of fellow mastermind members, and we were down at the Gary Vaynerchuk event called Agent 2021. If you don't know Gary, it's worth taking a look and finding him online. You'll find him to be quite the spitfire. And this has to be one of the alive. I got a real feeling. I've been following this guy since 2008. This has to be one of the sharpest guys out there when it comes to digital age and mastery thereof. This is one really smart guy. And you only need to go around and meet some of his people to get a real feeling for how sharp this guy really is. Not only is he smart, he has surrounded himself with some very smart people. And as we were down there, the 4 or 5 of us that were there, we were trying to look for something to bring back in the context of masterminding and sales training. And the biggest thing that I do in and around engagement. Engagement becomes a very big and important word, okay? And I'm going to explain that to you all today, what I mean by that, because engagement in a sales context, we talk a lot about what do we say on the phone? What do we say when we go face to face? Those are things that we think about traditionally in real estate agency. But if you are really on the bleeding edge of what's happening, the most important thing to recognize is that engagement has changed over to social. See, a lot of people are confused about what social means, meaning social media. And what do? It's overwhelming, right? Do I spend money on ads? What do? You engage. That's the first thing that you do. And that's the sales contacts we have here. So when we open up, I'm hoping that I have Kyle Jones on here. I was just doing a one-on-one with he and Scott. And out in California when we got cut off, and we were in the thick of talking about this, where I was encouraging Kyle and I was excited. I said to Kyle, I said, look, I think one of the most important things to recognize in this modern day and age is that if you are younger than I am, right? Meaning a lot of you, most of you probably at this point, just make sure you understand that it's awesome that you're growing up with this technology, but in the context of having to make a living, understand how you do that with the technologies you're growing up with. And that has a lot to do with Facebook these days. 2.1 billion people on Facebook. 2.1 billion people. Think about that. People are actually living on social more than they're living in the real world. You want proof? Watch the way that you walk around or people walk around. Everybody has this permanent kink in their neck looking at their cell phone, right? We're always in that cell phone, which means what? We're actually living in there, and we're very likely to be hyper responsive in there when there's good information and somebody can, hear and see what we're doing, all right? So let me open up the mics and make sure we're good to go here interactively. Are we good? You guys hear me all?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, Kyle, do I have you by chance? Were you in here early? Let me see if I have him. I don't know if I have him. Met a couple Californians here, but maybe I don't. And if not, you guys can rip roar as people. Oh, Scotty Jones, I do see a number for you. Is that you, Kyle? That you, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Kyle, I want to pick up where we left off here, and I wanted to just re-stimulate the conversation around social engagement. Tony Legendry asked me a good question yesterday. He said, well, Danny, now that you've gone down there and you've begun to, take a look at this, and by the way, for those of you that are on the Facebook page, and you'll be looking at this later, that was really the notes from the conference that I recognize is that we don't even live in a brokerage world anymore. We actually live in an agency world where me, as the owner of the Griffin Realty Group, that's an agency, meaning what? It's there to show you that digitally, that's where the world lives these days, and you're going to have to be digitally savvy. But the addition that I had for the mastermind was not only do we talk about website as your new storefront, so really, the concept of bricks and mortar is almost disappearing. Address still matters. I think somebody wants to know that you know the local marketplace. So a good address matters, but your website has become far more important than bricks and mortar. Secondarily, Facebook is the new digital community that we live in. So as much as you might do business in this locality, you do business and you live your life in the context of Facebook. That's where you are. Now, ultimately, Facebook has purchased Instagram, so it's almost like they bought another country. Think about it that way. If Facebook is the new country, right? That's dominating. Now they've bought another country called Instagram, where people are living and breathing, and that's growing rapidly. So a lot of the bleeding edge digital marketers and business people are living very aggressively on Instagram too. And ultimately, you know that if somebody's looking for you, there's a high probability that they're going to find you on YouTube. But that's all fine and dandy when you get your personal branding set up in those places. But then what? Right? That's the next thing. Then what? Where do you go from there? You have to get into this last piece of it, which really is engagement. So if there's anything that really starts to happen after this, it's that once you get into content marketing, sure, you can go out there and you can become that local expert. You can start a page where you're selling, who you are by being the local expert. It's a subtle sale. It's the invisible sale. You're determining for the marketplace that you are the local expert, and then presumably they will do business with you, but not if you do not engage. Okay? Not if you do not engage. So Kyle, give us some thoughts about what you were thinking when I said that earlier on. What changes next? What's the next sales activity that we have to take when it comes to engagement? Or is sales even the wrong word?
I would think that sales might be the wrong word.
Okay.
But, I mean, as far as using social media, the best way to go about it from what I understand is presenting yourself and then engaging in conversation with the people around you.
Okay.
So in the way of sales, I don't think it'd be very successful.
Think about your friends for a second. Yeah, think about how you interact with your friends for a second. How much time would you say you spend on social, interacting with friends, in the course of a week?
Ooh, a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, right? A lot. You probably have never even thought about. For sure, right? For sure.
Danny, I have a quick question for you on
Fire
that
away.
note.
Come on, let's go. Everybody in here today.
So I set up a Facebook business page as well as my own personal page, and in the past I've always kept the two completely separate.
Yeah.
But what I've been hearing from people is that it's better to let people really know who you are, and so it's better to set them up on your actual friends page than just a business page. And the other thing that I also noticed is, I've been doing a bunch of these little videos, some of them kind of comical with my dog, but some of them more realistic.
Yeah.
And when I go onto my business Facebook page, I see them, but I just met with somebody last week and found out they can't see any of them. So I realized that all these postings that I'm doing on my business page, and correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Facebook kind of, they have a lot more stricter guidelines on business pages versus your own personal?
Well, that's a great question. So let's talk about this, because again, if this sounds like a marketing thing, it is. But that's how you sell, by being really documenting and being transparent these days. So I'm not going to stick my head in the sand and tell you all that this is always going to be about picking up the phone, because it's not. I'll give you a real live example here in a second, right? Of what I did on the way home from this and how effective it was. So going back, and that was Lisa, right? Was that you talking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hang on, guys. Hey, guys, just remember, if you're in a noisy spot, just *6 me or mute the mic, and that way I can leave all the mics open and I don't have to do this, because I want everybody to be able to jump in the minute you feel moved here today, okay? I want a really interactive call. I want to hear what's on your mind, because I want to tailor this call to helping you sell in a modern digital context. This is a hot topic. So to Lisa's conversation, let's just reiterate what she's asking. She's asking about, okay, great, I'm willing to engage people on social platform, namely all of you start with Facebook. They are dominating this live community. Like I said, we're probably living more so leaning into the phone than we are when we're walking around. We got to be careful these days of driving and walking into things, because we're so engaged in this digital world. So let's be realistic. People are there, and they're more likely to hyper respond to you there than they are anywhere else. Even though email's still effective, they're hyper responsive on Messenger, period, right? So now she's saying, okay, great, but let's go back into the platform for a second, because I still have to be contextually relevant, meaning in the context of me as the real estate agent, how do I get set up to look professional. Lisa, is that a fair restatement of what I just said?
Yeah, kind of. It was more of like I noticed that if I post something on my business page, it's not getting through. And
oh, yeah, no, hold on. Lisa, hang on. Lisa, I'll deal with that. Sorry, my bad. I just wanted to make sure that that was a fair setup. I'm going to give you the tactics right now because I'm very clear on how this works. It's an excellent question, okay? So here's what it is. Do not go straight to your profile and build that as your business. Do not do that. That is not my opinion, but a strong one. That is not the intent of Facebook, or they wouldn't have business pages. Okay? Just think about it. When we slide back and we look at the way that digital community works, and that's where a lot of selling is happening. Right? In fact, everybody's in a panic now because Zuckerberg supposedly is going to change the algorithm for more what? Engagement. He doesn't like all the marketing because people won't use that platform if that's not the way it's set up. So the point being is that now I come back into this platform and say, okay, I live there as a human being in my profile. Okay? That's real life. That's the feed of the community. But for me, I've been on Facebook a long time. I have close to the maximum number of friends. Why is there a maximum number, Lisa? Because they don't want you to use that feed as a business platform. They created subsequently later on all these pages. Now, they're a business and they need to monetize, right? So I can remember when Facebook was going public, oh, is it going to make it? Is it going to make it? Well, of course it was going to make it. It had the eyeballs in the community first, and then it set up this other lane for business. Now, early on, you could set up a business page and you could get enormous amounts of following because you were an early adopter and your organic push through of content was very high. And then one day, boom, it was over. The ability, who knows what exactly the push through was, that when you would put something up about your community, you want to be interviewing a restaurateur or whatever the soup du jour content is, you would do that, put it up there, and you weren't getting any push through without doing what, Lisa? Paying to push it to your audience. Now, you could do that as a boosted post, but I would say it's probably more effective to actually start to learn the business manager and create an ad out of this stuff and target your own audience that you built. Okay? That's the real logistics of it.
Well, I tried that.
Hold on.
Yeah, I tried.
Hold on. Not done. So the point is, now you're asking about the mix of content. Okay? That's the other thing. So the mix of content is you live authentically on your profile. If you're in a beautiful spot or you're with some friends and family, you're going to post something there that's authentically your life. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and then from your business page, a share. Now, this formula, plus or minus, has been around from savvy marketers for a very, very long time. I remember hearing when Gary Vaynerchuk was first on Twitter, and these guys, Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher, were first on Twitter. All these guys were in there, and they were saying this early on, okay? Content that's, general content, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gary even wrote a book called, Jab, 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 Right Hook. Give, ask. So it's the same formula over there. Now, do not tell me you have already done something if you have never been inside the ad platform on the business manager. Okay? So now come back at me and push back and say, I did what? Because I just wanted to finish that thought. I wouldn't be polluting my profile with business, and then maybe a personal post. It's absolutely the other way around. And I'm showing you right now, I lived my life transparently through my business page this week in Miami. And then I shared some of it over to my profile because I thought it was kind of cool, right? Sitting in Miami Dolphins, stadium on the ground floor was a cool venue. I want to bring you with me. I want to share my life with you and say, this is kind of a cool thing that I'm doing. But I would never think about polluting my personal profile. I am, as much as I love my fellow realtors, when I see them use their personal profile as nothing but business, the first thing I say is, oh man, I need to message this person and tell them, stop doing that. It is an instant turnoff to the rest of us that are authentically trying to see what our friends in our community are up to. You follow?
Yeah.
Okay. So now go and explain to me where you're still lost on how to get people to start. Here's the sales context. This is the marketing platform, the community platform. But the sales context is this. Once you build a page, what I have recognized is that Facebook wants us to play their game their way. So they put a little button up the top that says what? Promote. They do the same thing, which they own that other country called Instagram. It says promote. So up there too, they have it there. So what's happening is they're saying, hey, psst, we want you to pay to promote this page to get what? To get likes on one of their countries, your page on Facebook, and then to get follows on Instagram. So before you can even sell anything, they're showing you, they're leading you to how to play their game on their platform. Still making sense here, or am I losing you?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So that was my goal when I first set up the business page, and especially on the videos. At the end of every video, I'd say, go to my business page. I'm trying to direct everybody to my business page. But then I realized on my business page, none of the videos were appearing. And so I even took one of the videos and tried to run it as an ad, and, was very target specific. And, I think I set the budget for $25, but it was supposed to reach like thousands of people, right? Yeah. Ran that for, I think it was 9 days. It didn't reach a single person.
Yeah, you're doing, hold on. You're doing something technically wrong. You have a technical problem. I'll deal with it heavily on Campfire this week because I don't want to lose the sales context here, but you're definitely doing something technically wrong. It's a technical problem because of course your videos should show up on your page if you put them there correctly. Of course they should. So I can even come offline with you at some point this weekend if you want, and I'll just get you straight. That's a technical problem. That's not an algorithmic problem.
Okay.
Yeah, because they want you to play the game, and they would never not show something that you did, right? So for example, as I broadcast live, yeah, fair enough. I got you now.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, of course you can, Kyle. Come on back in, hit it.
With the Facebook stuff and getting engagement, one of the things that Facebook really likes for business pages is strong engagement. So you need likes, you need the other emoji likes, and you also need people commenting and you commenting back on it. And the more that happens, the more likely that Facebook's going to share your posts and content with everyone who has liked the page. And then if someone comes and likes your business page but they don't follow it, they're not going to see a lot of the stuff that you post. They're only going to see the cream of the crop.
Right. You got it. Amen.
Right.
He's got it right. See, it's all algorithmic in this modern digital context, right? So we have to, and algorithmic is a fancy way of saying they have rules of engagement that they want you to play by. And if you want to fight that, you're dead. Right? I can remember when you used to early on be able to share YouTube videos over to Facebook because they didn't have a video section their own. And then as soon as they did, you weren't getting any YouTube videos, right? I mean, you can still do it, but they're not going to sit there and promote their competitor's way of doing business, right? That's dead. So I think what you have to understand is that what he just said is very important here. And I'm going to go, and there's a rhythm to things. Number one, be set up in these social selling environments correctly. Learn the game. Do not pollute your profile with selling. It will hurt you. Go to your Facebook page and think strategically about what content you want. You want to talk about your community. You want to talk about your listings. You want to talk about your sales strategy for listings and buyers. And if you're recruiting agents, that's the place to put varied content. And the better the mix of produced stuff where you really sat down, you thought about it, you hit some points and got out of there versus very raw content like this. This is raw, unscripted stuff on a sales training call. We give that away in a very clear context. That mix is important and it becomes authentic, and you then provoke the next step, which Kyle just nailed, engagement. And engagement will come because sometimes boosting or getting those people to engage by asking a question beneath the piece of content. So if I do a video, ask the question, hey, listen to what I had to say here and let me know, what do you think? Do you think that, this happens this way or not? You're provoking engagement. And then people will hit the algorithmic buttons, the like, the smiley face, the wow, the angry face. That's engagement. And that's what the algorithm is looking for. But most importantly, do you reply? I mean, think about what they do on your business page. They give you a badge for responsiveness. They want you to have that phone in your face, and that the minute somebody leaves a message and you reply, you hit it, right? They'll actually release you and start to promote your content because you are a true creator in their world. And that is the invisible sale for all of us. That's exactly how this goes, to be extremely transparent. And right now, this is broadcasting on my profile. You know why? Because I do have some people on my profile that know me in a business context, and they are business people, and I want them to know how to do this. I walk down the village of Osterville here. There are 4 empty storefronts in the village of Osterville right now in one building. 4. Because the world is changing, and we can't duck our heads in the sand and say the way we always sold is still the same. No, it is not. Amazon is wiping people off the map. So those retailers need to get digital savvy themselves and get online, take their wares online and partner up with these big dogs and play the game that the way it's being played. All right, thoughts about that in a sales context. Let me hear from all of you. Anybody that wants to weigh in on this. By the way, I am online too, and I can see that I think it was you, Leslie, that's online that put something there. I'll try to respond to the online comments too. Let me hit this. I posted on my personal page some stuff about being a Democrat, though, so I have not wanted to engage customers on my personal page. Do I have to completely stop posting things about promoting women in office and Democratic candidates, for example? No, look, I would never want you, Leslie, or anybody to not do you, right? Politics and religion, we know where that conversation goes. But if that's the way you feel and that's where you want to express it, she's laughing. I exposed you totally to our group. So the point is, I think it's okay to be there to do that. And that's benefited Facebook's community tremendously, that there's, as long as it's not derogatory, they have allowed it. And again, you can argue that they censor this or that. Who cares? Let's not fret all that stuff. Just get in there and live your life. Now, having said that, yes, you will polarize people talking about politics and religion. Okay? So if you share over here's the case I'll make for you. If you share over your business, no, why would I stop? Because you probably end up doing business with a lot of women who are Democrats. And if that's your avatar, what's wrong with that? So in your profile, you are actually, by saying what you're saying, I can make this case. You're saying, this is who I am. I am a woman. I am a Democrat. This is the way I feel. Again, don't get crazy. People get crazy about subjects. I would recommend against that for all of you in any context. Don't sound like a loon. Don't do strange things, and don't be an extremist. You need a therapist, not me, if that's what's happening on Facebook, right? So go in there, do you, and live it, because what you're doing is compelling in people who agree with you and repelling, and they're unfriending you. Wonderful. Now you have a community of people that share your belief system. Now, when that business share you got this about your lifestyle, you got this about politics, you have this about lady shoes that you just bought, and in comes a thought about real estate to the exact avatar. Wonderful. Bravo. Brilliant. Live authentically. I would never tell you, stop doing you. Just don't be a loon. Extremists lose at everything, right? There's no need for that, right? Cool.
Danny, this is Bridget. I have a quick question.
Yeah, Bridget, come on.
Hey, Danny, I have a question.
Okay, hang on. Chris, ladies first. Bridget, hit it.
Well, first of all, I'm Team Leslie, and second of all, you are just saying we just need to make sure to create a business page. How mine is set up is I have my personal one, and then I just created a business page through there. So they are separate. They're still linked. Is that okay? Or do you want to
that's the only. Great question, Bridget. It's the only way to do it. That's the way the platform lives. You cannot do anything on. Yeah. Nope. You got it exactly right. Excellent questions. Thank you so much for asking the basics. My gosh, if I could just get every high level thinker to go in there. Hang on. Yeah. Hang on.
Danny, the Facebook page if their real estate agent has to be linked to your page. You understand that, right?
Do I understand that?
Wait, can you repeat that?
Well, you know, this is part of, at least in California, we have to do that.
No, they don't have to. They don't have to. Gail. They don't have to link it. They have to disclose it, right?
No, you have to link it. We have to. For us, we have to do that. So it's part. I don't exactly know how we do it. I'll have to check, but we have to do that.
I don't see that there's any way to do that. I don't see that there's any. Yeah, I don't.
In California, it's advertising rules.
Yeah, Gail, I don't see that there's any way to do that other than to disclose it and say the banner, or if you're advertising a property, to disclose that in the ad. There's no way to link somebody else's business to yours that I'm aware of.
We do it. Well, we do it.
Well, then show me. I'll look at it right now. If you do it,
I will, but I can't. I have to ask Flo.
Okay.
So you're on there.
Yeah, I don't know. Flo, if you want to speak to that, I don't know. All right, I don't want to go down. Hold on. That's a great point, but let's hold on to it. I'll get that answer and I'll share it back with everybody. Yeah, it's a great point, Gail. And I want to make sure everybody's compliant in the law, especially you Californians have some very strict laws about disclosure. And you Canadians, I believe. Yeah, no doubt. And I'm always trying to be compliant. But I don't want to lose the sales context here for a second. Bridget? It's a fabulous question. And the point is, you cannot play the game unless you have a profile. The number one step in Facebook is to have a profile that's personal. And emphasize that word personal. And Leslie, I love you for bringing that up today. That was fabulous, because the thing is, don't ever compromise who you are. My only advice as your coach, all of you, is please don't be an extremist. Extremists just lose at a lot, right? So I say extremist in kind of a crazy way. So come back now, you can set up as many pages as you want once you have a profile. So you can set up, a community page that's unbranded for the community, and you're the expert, you're the gatekeeper of every branded page. And I'm telling you all, number one rule of engagement after listening to Vaynerchuk and all these guys long enough is your personal brand is everything in the context of your business. I'm doing that. I'm killing the word agency at the Griffin Realty Group. We are no longer, brokerage. We are no longer a brokerage. We are an agency. Meaning what? We are going to show our agents, which we do already, how to personally brand themselves. And we're showing our listings how to personally brand that listing in the context of the digital age. So right now, in a sales context, if I go search you, I want to be able to find your personal business page as a realtor. So Bridget Rossetti Realty, real estate, something like that, Bridget, right? I need to be able to go there and find that place. And then once I've searched you to validate you live authentically in a digital world and professionally because you have the right strategy, and now I look down into your feed and I study you, I validate the phone call that you're trying to make to me. Who is this? This lady just left me a message from Rossetti Realty. Her name is Bridget, etc. I don't know your last name or I'd say it. I went and searched her on Facebook and there she was. She's a good-looking gal. She looks professional. She's got all this professional context. I like her. Right? And she had these things that she was offering for free. She had all these free tips on that site. See where I'm going, Bridget?
Yep.
All right, Chris, I think you were trying to jump in there. Come on back, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, two questions. First part is, was this event just for realtors?
No. Excellent question. It was not. It was called Agent 2021. Now, realtors did dominate the field, but there were insurance agents. I think there were even car dealers. So there was about 3 or 4 different industries represented, which made it interesting.
All the bottom.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Chris, you're really breaking up, buddy. I don't know whether you're on speakerphone or what. I want to hear what you're saying, though.
I say all the bottom feeders were there, eh?
You know, it's interesting. It's funny you should say that, right? Because Gary made a really big point. It is not too late. In fact, hey guys, someone's banging around there. Okay. I want you to hear me all say this. If you have a sensation that you are late to this digital game, you are wrong. It is still extremely early in this context, okay? Very early. Take it from me. I have been watching this guy and others and doing this, and you see how I live. Copy me on the way that I do it with your own voice, whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you, I know it's still early in this. And the way that you know that, he made a good point, Chris. He said, look, all of you people that are here, this is the first time we've ever done it, and think about how few of you are actually spending the money to get on a plane, come down here, and get into this with me and these people that are here, right? Not that this was the greatest conference in the history of conferences, but he makes a good point. Because he says, look, just because you know me and I've been doing it for a long time doesn't mean that we're not all still very early, especially because of all these changes that are taking place. So the faster that you all can fall into this engaging world, the more sales you will make before others in this context. And people, oops, not good. And the more sales that
Danny, I have another question.
Yep, hold on. The more sales that you can make through starting on social engagement, and that you can really start to speak to that when you're going in for listing presentation, man, that's good living. Go ahead, Chris. Next one.
The second part of that is, did they talk at all about not being friends with other realtors on Facebook?
Absolutely. Absolutely not.
Podcast before.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just, that made the hair on the back of my neck go up. If you heard somebody say that, hold on the internet, shame on them. That is such a mentality of scarcity if that's where that person was coming from. Go ahead, give it to me. Give me the full context.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was about a year ago. I watched this podcast with some Facebook expert chick, whatever, and she said to limit the amount of interaction between realtor to realtor because Facebook tracks that. Industry contacts back and forth, and it somehow penalizes you. I don't remember all the details on it.
Oh, man, what a waste of time. Even if that were true, what a waste of time. You know, look, I said to Leslie, and I'm going to give her full credit for bringing this up. If you watch Gary, since it was his conference, I'm going to keep deferring to him for this call today. You've never met a more...
Danny, I can address that.
Hold on. Dean, hang on. I have never seen a more authentic guy who does not deal in scarcity and gives away constantly his best stuff to everybody he can possibly get to, including, his people. To me, we live in a realtor community, okay? And we live in this cooperating broker system. And I have, for 20 years, well before this, right? I have thought to myself, oh my gosh, you had to walk outside your office because the person sitting at the other desk was going to steal your lead? Is that really is that what we believe is the way that business is done? I mean, it's just pathetic. And when I got backstabbed this year by somebody who did that to me, I'm done with that person forever. I'll never be the same. Doesn't mean I wouldn't do a deal with her again, but I am done with that person forever. There's no need to hurt each other. And even if Facebook, shame on Facebook if that's what they do. Shame on them. I don't like that either. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Authentic matters, right? The authentic communication with humans, if the conversation starts with two realtors going back and forth, okay? You're telling me on the Realty Classroom, I'm a realtor, and you guys are all realtors, and we go to that page, and Leslie's up there right now, and we're communicating, that hurts me? Hurt me then. Punch me in the face then. But I'm not going to ever stop that because that's the human being in the context that needs my help. So that would be my feeling on it.
Hey, don't kill the messenger.
I know. You got me fired up today. Go ahead, Dean. Dino, you had something to say. By the way,
Danny,
hang on. Dino, hang on. I have had people reference, and Leslie online, thank you, Leslie, for being so active online because I can see it in front of me. They said Gary who. So if he came on late, Dean Miller, who's about to speak, myself, Willie Miranda, good friend, long time, Marcus Hines, Maggie came with Willie, Bill came with Marcus. So we had a group of us who were there at the Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, also known as, right? Gary Vaynerchuk is a digital entrepreneur who started promoting wines for his father's liquor store. Ironically, my exact background, but I'm 10 years older than Gary, plus or minus, and the internet wasn't ready. So I missed this fabulous opportunity, but he sold amazing amounts of wine to the tune. I think they turned the business into a $50 million wine order business, all because Gary was an early adopter. Then he started an agency, a marketing agency in New York City, and they've gone from like nothing to an amazing player in this business. So Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V, go check him out. He'll sound very aggressive and obnoxious to some of you. He'll drop F-bombs with frequency. I can handle that because we're all from the Northeast. You might not be able to. Cut through it because there's a brilliance there. This guy is extremely sharp and there's a lot to learn. All right, Dino, go ahead. Have at it.
Okay. So to the point of don't engage with other realtors in your market, that there is some validity to that.
Okay.
But the reason why they did it was before MessageBox became MessageBox, there was collusion within industries and within some organizations where they would go in and consistently like and comment on the same people's stuff all the time.
Yes.
And the reciprocity was, if I do it for you, you got to do it for this
yes.
one, and the next one, and the next one.
Fabulous
so there
context.
Is some there is some algorithmic formula that says, hey, if you 150 realtors all want engagement and you all like everybody else posts and there's 150 likes and 150 comments from the same people, they'll push back on you for that because that's collusion. They're trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
It's very, very big in the foodie world and in the restaurant world, and it started to become big in the real estate world as well. And they did put some kind of algorithm in there to say, okay, if you're only communicating consistently with the same people over and over again, we will maybe not shut you down, but we'll throttle you back so that your stuff doesn't go through.
There you go, Chris.
The question I think you were asking is, should you engage with other realtors? And the answer is 100% yes. Don't do it and play dirty pool. Do it and put meaning behind it, and then it's considered engagement.
Brilliant. Brilliant. That's what a lot of realtors were doing when they were taught incorrectly. Also, Chris, about SEO optimization, where they were teaching each other to go in, and click on each other's, deal or whatever it was. So, yeah, and that's brilliant, Dean. Brilliant clarification.
If there's a tactic out there that makes you think, hey, we're going to beat Facebook, just don't do it because you're not going to beat Facebook.
You're not. And why would you try to do that anyway? Like all this black hat crap. It's just so much work to be not authentic, right? Just do you. And that's the best message about the internet. Just do you. And that's where I loved where Leslie was going. Like, look, there's a lot of people that will watch me do this and go, oh, way too aggressive for me. Okay, great. No problem. There's some nice people out there you can do business with. I hope they know what I know and go do business with them. I'm happy for them, right? Maybe it's somebody who's learned from me.
Yeah, I love the point you made to her. Listen, if you're a Democrat and a woman and an activist, wouldn't you want to do business with other Democratic women who are activists? Be you and do it. And if the Republican guys who hate everybody don't want to do business with you, you're probably winning more that way.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It's avatar, Dean. I think in sales, one of the things we have to be bold enough to do is agree that it's okay to be greedy and do business with your avatar. So what's one of the greatest ways, thank you, by the way, to both, Lisa and Leslie for driving that, and Bridget for the question. Ladies, you clarified what that profile is really about. It is the place where you will live the most authentically in a digital community. You are documenting. See, people always say, like, you guys go to my profile. Look how many times I post food, right? Every time I'm cooking. I'm a foodie. I can cook. I'm good. Right? And I'm going to post that. I'm going to show you. And I'm going to say, man, you can eat healthy. You can eat cheap, and healthy and organic and all this stuff. That's how I do it. I want you to know. And if you have some comments about my cooking, let me know. That's me. I'm not afraid to do me. Don't you be afraid to do you, because there's a ton of people that like that, right? They like that and they want to lean in, right? So I think that's good. All right. I think Paul Cantu, you were trying to say something right when we got on that line of thought there. Jump in with me. What do you got?
Oh, nothing too important. I was just talking to an agent from Keller Williams this morning for all of 50 minutes who'd just asked if we could do a chat. And she's like, there's all these people in my office that are mega producers, and they'll give you a little bit, but they won't share much.
Right.
And she's like, why are you why are you telling me everything? And I'm like, why wouldn't I? There's no reason not to. There's more than enough business for all of us. I said, and so we spent 50 minutes on the phone. I basically, up and down, I could have talked for another 2 hours, but gave her everything that she asked for, and she was extremely grateful. And I just think that that's the way you have to be with other agents, regardless of whether they're on your team or across the country or down the street from you in a different brokerage.
Oh, if you will just believe that giving away your best stuff for free is the best sales technique, if you just will believe that. I know it's hard. I get it because we live in this very competitive mindset. It's a kill or be killed. It's a survival of the fittest. But if there is a massive silver lining to the digital age, it is the fact that there's more proof than not that giving away your best stuff for free comes back 20-fold, 100-fold versus the old, hey, I'm going to go in this linear way. I'm going to make it an ad. I'm going to capture. Like, think about the language. I'm going to lead capture. I'm going to capture your contact information, and then I'm going to follow up with you. And again, a lot of people are doing it super aggressively, which still works. We know that. We have a lot of great cold callers in here, and they have these scripts. Right? We're finding out that people are pissed off. They are overwhelmed with sales because the dark side of the internet is that you can now get sold by anybody and everybody with an opinion, a microphone, and access to the internet for cheap. So we're oversold. So what I'm finding with you guys and gals in this very authentic sales training each week is that we get hung up on a lot. Okay? We get hung up on a lot. The reality is when David's making calls from the Philippines, he's getting hung up on a lot. Right? So what we came up with, let's segue this into a little bit of what we talked about on our mastermind that we share with all of you team members today, is that if you look at the way that this is working, the time and the opportunity to give when you first get somebody you don't know is really limited on the phone. So if there's ever been phone pressure and all these days when scripts were there, remember back about 5 years ago, you hadn't been overwhelmed online by being sold to. See, that's why I'm saying be careful of understanding platforms. Don't oversell people who are trying to just live their life on a Facebook feed. They're just trying to live, right? Share ideas, thoughts, fun, right? They're living there. Now you come in and you're, hey, want to buy a house? Hey, want to buy a house? Hey, want to buy a house? Right? You're it. You're that guy. You're that gal. You're it. And so now if you can just think authentically how to do this, think how you are. If I were calling you all up every day and going, hey, want to become a coaching member? Want to join Campfire? Want to do this? It's over. Like, give me your best stuff for free. That's what everybody wants, so that I know you're authentic. And if I need or want to step up to the next level, I know you're there. I know I can buy a house from you. I know you can list my house. I get it, right? So I think that becomes that thing that's really important to understand when it comes to social engagement. Understand that the phone has been squeezed. So here's what we discovered. Listen to this, and I want to get this across from an inside sales standpoint because it's dovetailing with engagement online. You don't go too far too early. Get your point across in as little time as possible. That was the challenge we faced. So last week on this call, we said, look, hi, it's Danny Griffin calling from the Griffin Realty Group. I'm calling you because I saw that your property expired on MLS. The first challenge we had on the helpline this week was, what about saying, I'm calling because I saw that your property is no longer in the market? Because it softens the language. What if they don't know expired? Expired is a harsh word. What if we go with this kinder, gentler language? So we had two alternatives. Then we went, I just want to let you know that I mailed you our 7-step listing plan. It looks like a nice property. Why do you think it didn't sell? And those were the 4 beats. But as time went on, I started to look at what David was doing this week, and he was still getting hung up on, even though we thought we had a really good script, something to say, a formula that was predicated on these things. So now I'm saying to all of you, you might have to, when you're on the phone, it's a little bit easier when you're in social engagement to be more thorough because they can read it like an email quicker, right? Before the inboxes on Messenger get crowded, get there now. Get there now, he said. Get there now, he said, right? But now, what about this? Hey, Paul, it's Danny calling. I just want to let you know that I sent you out my 7-step listing plan. It's because I saw that you were no longer in the market, and I looked like a nice property. I was just wondering why it didn't sell. I thought my stuff could help you. That's conversational, okay? But I got to the point even faster. How quickly can I let somebody know who's pissed off and angry and agitated by the world and weighed down by the world and knows the minute we sound even a little bit scripted, here we go again, even in spite of the fact that they really, really, really need to hear from us. They do. If they expired legitimately, meaning they didn't take it off and their plans didn't change, they really, 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 really need you. So you're going to have to understand in a digital context that scripts are being squeezed. How do I know that? Because I listen to calls that David tries to make on my behalf every single day and how quickly they hang up on him. It is super uber fast. That is a digital age reality. It doesn't mean Paul Mihalowicz sitting in, Birmingham, Michigan, Paul Cantu sitting in Seattle, Washington. Doesn't mean that these savants can't get on with the scripts they've always used and been successful. Doesn't mean that at all. God bless anybody who's still having success in spite of that, because these cats are just good. Okay? But for everybody that hasn't been doing it for a long time and doesn't have that level of comfort, you've got to get the point across quickly before your heart comes through your chest and your nerves get the best of you to say, hey, Leslie, it's Danny. I just want to let you know that I sent you out my 7-step listing plan. I thought it could help. Like, that's the shortest thing that you could say to somebody. Hey, Leslie, it's Danny. Just want to let you know that I saw that you opted into my site. Want to make sure it's working okay. Boom. Like, let's not get caught up in this digital pressured world with being technically correct. Yes, you need a strategy. And I think what we're doing as a group is we're morphing into this. Now, of course, if you can get that first icebreaker across to give context and they will not hang up on you, you can go a little bit further on the phone. But if not, back off. Let it get to them. Because if you authentically send them something, a true gift that is really about helping them, now it changes. Even though you can't see it, you can't hear it, you want to. You're wondering, geez, did they get the mail? Did they open it up? And then all these gurus are going to tell you, oh, nobody. I heard that. I did not like that this week. Oh, direct mail's dead. Or if it's not dead, it's dying. Really? Okay. Do you all throw every piece of mail away? No, you don't. You throw crap mail away that doesn't give proper context in a proper situation, I'm sure, but we've always done that, pre-digital age. So it's about the quality of the interjection of your help via whatever medium. You could do it in video, but don't try to just think like everybody else does. Think, I'm helping this person by getting them something that they need. Hey, guys. Hello. Hello. Hello, guys. Live mics. Hello. Okay, guys. That was a live mic. Sorry. Okay. So thoughts about that. What do you think about that? What do you think about that quick and dirty? Do you agree? Do you not agree?
What I think is, Danny, you have a layered approach with your marketing. That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, I don't want to go to marketing, Gail. I agree with, I know where you're going.
We're talking about mail is dead and...
I'm talking about the quality of the content, no matter how we get it. What I was doing it was in the
quality of the content is extremely important.
Agreed. Go ahead. Somebody else was.
I think in this day and age,
yep.
Everybody's they have such a short attention span, and everything has to be fast.
Yes.
So we have to change how we're selling, how we're presenting, how we're doing everything. So, I think it's really imperative that everything be as short and quick to the point as possible. Yeah.
And do you believe that giving them a strategy for selling or buying, and if you're recruiting, how they plan themselves out, do you believe that content, that concept of giving a plan to somebody, do you believe it's powerful? You don't have to agree with me. I do.
I think giving in general is powerful because I think in this world, too, everybody's always expecting you to be sold. Like, they have to do something. They have to buy something. They have to do, and if you're just willingly saying, hey, look, I'm just going to give you something, there's no strings attached, it catches people off guard, and it makes them think for a minute. Like, exactly like, Paul, you were just saying, now all of a sudden your other realtor was questioning, well, why are you willing just to give this stuff out? Because people aren't used to it. So I think that's a good tactic to just give. It makes people stop and think a minute, and then who are they going to want to pick to work with? That person who was giving versus that person who was just trying to hound them to get them to pay them money for something.
Yeah. I think
that's exactly right.
Go ahead, Paul.
This person just moved to Keller Williams 3 months ago from a boutique brokerage, and she's not experiencing the level of support she was promised on the front end. And I'm not trying to groom her necessarily to come to my office, but I mean, if you just give and give and give and give, I mean, good things will come your way. And so I'd love to work with this person. It's just her and her husband and a buyer's agent, and they did $350 last year. She's a rock star already. I'd love to have someone of that quality, join our team eventually. And if she doesn't, that's still fine. I'd still love to work with her in whatever capacity, So yeah, I think giving is the best way to get back eventually.
Yeah, and again, guys and gal, right? Okay. So here's the key. Now, the more hyper-contextually relevant you can be, that makes it more personal. So think about a gift. Let's think I was laughing when you guys were doing this. I was trying to type an answer to Timmy Kerrigan online at the same time. But here's the deal. Here's what I'm thinking. I get a lot of Christmas gifts that I don't like. Okay? I'm a jerk when it comes to Christmas gifts. I'll tell you that flat out, right? I don't want you to waste your money on me on something that I will not ever use. Okay? So people in my family hate to do anything for me, but I say, look, my grandmother had it right. You know what she bought me, Gil? You get a kick out of this. Every Christmas, you know what she bought me? Underwear. That's what she bought me. She knew that no matter what happened, I needed underwear. Okay? My Italian grandmother knew. I know the Irish name, don't let it fool you, right? I know that I was going to get underwear. And I was happy. I could throw out the broken down stuff.
Every day of the week on them?
What's that?
Do they have Monday, Tuesday, the day of the week. Remember those?
Right.
Okay,
I do.
I love your grandmother.
Yes.
I love her.
But the key is here. The now Paul and I believe that was still Lisa. Now, the more hyper contextually relevant that gift can be, the more they believe and know you care, right? See, we want them to first know us. Well, know you in what way? In a context of giving them something that they truly need. I mean, they might not want it at the moment because they don't want to be sold, and they're intermingling those because your competition is coming out of the box trying so hard and desperately to sell them. So the unique selling proposition is, I'm not here to sell you anything. If you want to be sold down the line, wonderful. But today, right now, at the beginning, when you don't know me, I want you to know me in this context as a professional who's giving information to you that appears to be, unless I'm wrong, relevant to your situation. I'm calling you and saying you opted in to a website that sends houses for sale. I want to make sure the quality is accurate. I want to make sure you're getting what you want. Secondly, you just came off the market. I don't know whether it intentionally expired or you took it off. Whatever happened, I want to give you a home seller plan. So against that plan, you can check what went wrong or what you could improve. Okay, your sister's a realtor. Great. Give it to her. It'll help her too. That is a real belief system that this core quality content given changes this perception of the negative side of sale. When done correctly, the best salespeople don't sell anything. They give and they give and they give and they give, and they're repelling the people who do not want, just like I said to Leslie on her profile, and compelling the ones who do. You cannot do business with anything but a fraction of the people you run into each year. And the good news is in our real estate agent industry, that fraction adds up to big bucks. So instead of trying and getting all clamped and all worked up that every time it doesn't go our way, I'm terrible at this. No. Keep giving and keep blowing that dog whistle so that particular breed of dog comes your way and wants to play in your pack. That's all this is. But you better have a...
Interesting, Danny.
Go ahead, Gil.
We're reading the book Think and Grow Rich, and he talks about that. And that was, I don't know when he wrote the book, 1940s. I mean, he talks about the difference between the fear, how companies, of course, remember it was on the heels of the Depression.
Right.
But I remember reading in the last paragraph, you have to start giving instead of wanting to get. And that's the new age of America in terms of industry. And it's just powerful. That's been around a long time. People weren't hearing it.
Forever.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
But I think
starting to resonate that.
Go ahead. I had a comment coming. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this is Lindsay. I was just going to say, but it has to be genuine.
Yes. Yeah,
you can't fake it.
Oh, if you...
Because we all smell that out within a half a second. So if you're going to go with that approach, just make sure that it's genuine and it really, your belief systems and everything else are aligned with that.
Lisa just asked if I'm suggesting that you should all give your clients underwear. I think that would be perfect. Right? Lindsay, you're 100%... Hold on. Lindsay, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct in the fact that, again, our advantage as business people in a lane, in the real estate lane, we are business people and we know our lane. Even if you are all relatively new or some of you have just come on to one of these teams, even when you feel like you don't know what to do, you know a lot more than 99% of the potential buyers and sellers you work with, even if you listen to your team leader or me even for a few minutes. About two strategies, the listing strategy and the buyer strategy. They're universal. But just the fact that you entered the lane and you understand those bullet points, now you can get contextually correct with someone says, look, what makes me unique, even though I'm a rookie, is I joined this company that has a plan. And we will guide you through buying or selling with this plan. Right? That's it. So, I mean, it's fundamental. I was actually explaining this to a mortgage broker on the field in Miami where she was asking these questions. I said, look, all you have to do is plug and play the same formula. Think about the steps that you go through from the very first time somebody inquires about getting a mortgage to the point that there's a successful funding, right? What do they go through? Look to see if you can chunk it into groups of this stage, that stage. There's stages. We call them modules, whatever you want to call them. So if there's 4 of them, 5 of them, I mean, I wouldn't chunk it too big. I'd break it into at least 4 to 6. Maybe 7, like the selling plan. Maybe 9 when it gets to be very specialized, like probate. Now you have these chunks. So no matter what the business is, insurance or whatever, I would teach this the same way. What are the modules that you would walk somebody through as a pro? Right? Now, the only difference between me and a rookie is my level of ability to drill down deeper into the discussion. That's it. But what if they, like Leslie, to your point, what if they don't want a hyperactive guy like me who's this enthusiastic? I get it. You love what you do, Danny. You're enthusiastic, but it's not my style. Wonderful. In walks Elisa Bibby. She's nice and calm. Leslie's nice and calm. And they beat me. Why not? Why can't they? They can. And clear, that's the point. Cool? Yeah, did I lose you guys?
Yes, no, we hear you.
Okay. Sorry, it was just such wisdom that you were just baking in it, weren't you? All right.
Go ahead and unmute.
Yeah. GVD, is that you trying to come in here? I see your name just lit up in front of me.
I am here just spinning around in orbit. I mean, it's a lot to take in.
Yep. Okay, so give me where I can leave this call where people do not have themselves spinning. Let me give a little bonus time here. As much as I'm enthusiastic, I can chunk it up for all of you. So GVD, you kick us off. What do you need simplified right now?
Well, in a later call, mechanics of uploading these videos that we're making to YouTube and Facebook.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm at.
Good.
You know, how do we, and I know that's the real estate content. I do have personal and business pages that have been set up. I'm just not posting to them, and I guess that's where I'm spending. I'm just not the type, and they've got to become that post, my daily life, and I'm here at Starbucks getting a call, whatever it might be.
Got it.
Is that a rhythm you have to, and a habit you have to,
Nope.
to develop?
Nope. Nope, you don't. You don't. And as a mastermind member, I just got off with my social media manager, Brian, who is mind mapping out everything that we currently do. So all of you that are members of the mastermind, Campfire, or Griffin Realty Group will have that, that deal there. And if any visitors come to the TRC, how about this? I'll give it to you too. Because what I want is just everybody to see the simple bone structure of what I believe at this moment in time from masterminding with all you smart people, what it looks like and what, you know, the structure looks like. Now, there are things that you do have to do to the extent that if you believe that there's 7 points to listing, you can put you saying it, and then it's different from me, even though it's the same stuff, right? You can do that with the buy side. That can be the stuff that you document in these videos. Plus, you can document something about a property, which you're doing extremely well. When you list and you sell, you're documenting it. There's enough content. Now, I do recommend that once that clear content is getting done, when something hits you in the moment of being a realtor, don't overthink this. Just simply put the camera on your face and say, hey, you know what? It's GVD sitting here, and I'm just waiting for somebody to come to this listing. And I got to tell you, I'm just marveling at how gorgeous Carefree is during this time of year, right? I just wanted to share that with you. I love what I do. I'm sitting here, and look at this house behind me. Check out that mountain range. Look at the sunset. I just wanted to share that with you if you're out there. Obviously, if you're thinking about moving, you know where to find me, but this is how beautiful it is. That's documenting you doing what you do. To the extreme, Gary Vaynerchuk has David Rock following him around everywhere. And David just films and documents Gary's entire day. But we're not all blessed enough to be, at this moment, as busy as Gary from this 5 minutes to that 5 minutes. So they have enormous amounts of content. But so do you. Just turn the camera on and turn it around and just, you know, film yourself. I mean, I'll show you guys how to all do that, but that is so easy to do. And again, please go to my pages, the Realty Classroom page on Facebook, Griffin Realty Group. Make sure you like them so you know anytime I'm doing something, and copy me. Copy me. I don't mean what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. I'm saying copy the cadences, copy the formulas. Just do you doing something kind of like it, and at least you'll be in that cadence of producing content on a weekly basis by not overthinking it. To repeat, you all have the formula, the buyer course, the seller course, your listings and sold. And if you don't have any listings, go to the broker or the team manager that you have, or borrow them from friends and family, FSBOs, and document this stuff. Okay? That's it. Don't make it a big deal. That help, Grant?
Yes, it does.
GVD, I got plenty of time for you. You know that one-on-one. We'll just book one because you're a mastermind member, and I'll just record that formula. But just wait, because this week Brian is putting together a mind map for me so that we have a checklist of exactly what to do that's up to the moment. Okay? I just got off the phone with him before this, and I'll give it to everybody so you have it.
That's awesome.
All right. Anybody else have something burning? I hate to leave these calls where you have a burning question you didn't get in, or I left you dazed and confused. We don't ever want to end a TRC sales call like that. So, what do we got? Anybody else want to weigh in before we wrap it?
Not a burning question, but
go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
What's the best way to get people to like your business page? Is it to just hit that promote button?
Pay for it.
Spend
Yes.
money on the ads to promote it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Pay to promote your page. It's peanuts. And before someday it becomes expensive, now's the time. Once you have that, then that content can be boosted, and boost it with questions. Provoke engagement. And the minute somebody gets in there, you know you all have your phone with you. Be on alert that somebody's in there and respond to them. It's the new world. We don't have a choice. You're on your phone anyway. Do it that way. Great question. Anybody else?
Hey, Danny, is everybody in this group in the same Facebook group?
No. No,
What's the Facebook group that everybody on this call is in?
Okay. You can post it on whatever you want to do, Dino. You would share it on the Realty Classroom public page, or most of the members here, because everybody that's on this phone call participating in here is...
I'm losing you.
Yeah, everybody in here, Dean.
I didn't hear a word you said.
Okay, Dean, you got me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Andy,
Yep.
Sorry, Andy Snow, your line was crackling a little bit. I had to mute you. So everybody in here is either a team member of one of our mastermind members, which means they better be in Campfire, right? Or the mastermind members would see it here. Or if you just want to go publicly, because every one of you should, regardless of what group you're in, should be put the thumbs up on the Realty Classroom so that you can see there. So Dino, wherever you want to post.
Because I want to share, because I think I'll get a lot more answers to my question I posted in our mastermind group if I put it out there for everyone else.
Buddy, put it.
I'm just writing a list of all the questions.
Yeah, put it on the Realty Classroom public page. That's the most high profile, and anybody listening here today needs to go pay attention to that, and I'll boost it around to everybody who likes the page too. We got climbing fast, got a lot of like 400 plus people there. So it'll do it to their friends. We'll just get a real focus group based on people who like the page. Okay?
I'll do it now. Thank you very much.
You rock, buddy. Thanks for the participation. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it. Good work here today. Really, 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 really good work here today. And again, remember, social engagement is the new selling. I'm not saying it's the only one, but remember, if you can use social engagement to build the know, and then they begin to like you or appreciate you at least because you're sharing, there's a more highly likelihood they will give up their contact information for the phone, where that has to happen to get with them, right? You definitely got to get on that phone to really qualify. And then face to face, you can get in there and do your thing. But by then, the relationship is well along. Social selling, social engagement, because it's not even selling. Give, and it will come back. Okay? All right, guys, gals, see you later. Real good participation. Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy.
All right, everybody. See you, Gail. Gail, get those underwear. See you, Polly.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys. Bye, GVD. Bye, everybody.